PC gaming show Most Wanted will begin shortly. Stand by for trailers and announcements in our countdown of the hottest PC games on the horizon. PC gaming show Most Wanted will begin shortly. Stand by for trailers and announcements in our countdown of the hottest PC games on the horizon. PC gaming show Most Wanted will begin shortly. Stand by for trailers and announcements in our countdown of the hottest PC games on the horizon. Stay tuned for new trailers, developer interviews, and announcements as we count down the 25 most anticipated games. But who picked these games, you might be wondering? Who decides which games are noteworthy, which games get featured in a 2-hour showcase presented on major video platforms? What, some kind of elite cabal of game experts? Some sort of gaming congress? No, not a congress. Something much less democratic. The Council. Who is the Council? A whispered rumour, a rare excuse to wear cloaks. All these and more, a scattered lineage of enlightened minds stretching back into the distant past. Before Doom, before Pong, even before people thought backgammon was exciting. Which games are good? In every age, sages and mystics have sought the answer in tea leaves and tossed bones. Ancient oracles scouring the stars for something more fun than tic-tac-toe. Over millennia of human history, this work has continued, but the task grows only greater. We live in an era of gaming bounty. Each year, innumerable games. Every day, dozens of roguelikes, extraction shooters, and ever more esoteric simulators reveal themselves. Landmark releases. Triumphs of the art swallowed in moments by the onrushing tide. Well, frankly, it's a lot. Starfield? Oh, sure. I'm only in Act 2 of Baldur's Gate 3 after 48 hours, but I can fit in time for Starfield. Oh, silly me, I forgot that there's another Modern Warfare, but what's that? Counter-Strike 2? Payday 3? Lovely! Let me just
Would it be
clear
wrong
the
to play the
bits
Bluey
of my
video
schedule.
game?
I mean, I hear very good things about this dog. PC gaming is an unchecked force, ever expanding. No single individual, however enlightened, could peer across the boundless churn of new games and emerge unbroken. Not alone. Summons were written, invitations to a conclave, the first of its kind. The Council's members transmute their dedication into cosmic insight. Their well-worn mice and WASD keys are ritual knives. Their grimoires derived from game facts of yore. With eyes unveiled to greater truths, they join together in judgment of the games of tomorrow. The product of their grim duty, a foretelling of the finest unreleased games, divined from promise, pedigree, and occasionally purely on vibes. PC Gamers Most Wanted. Tallying the most wanted requires meddling in forces even the council fears. Forces like numbers and spreadsheets. How then are their votes tallied? To determine the most wanted games, the council looked to the obscure corners of the earth. There, in the bowels of a dungeon, they consulted with sages called statisticians. Paying them handsomely in exotic goods, these math practitioners crafted an algorithm that would reveal, out of thousands of games, the ones worthy of our attention.
The way that it's going to work is that there is a spreadsheet that is given to every single panelist or council member, and that should contain a list of all of the games that are currently sort of in play for the next year or however long we're looking ahead. Basically, it's very simple. They're asked to put a mark next to it against how excited they are for that upcoming release. On a scale of sort of -1 to 5, 5 being I'm super excited about it, -1 is kind of actively this looks bad. We're randomizing the sort order of that list for everyone so that one of the things with voting systems is that you kind of get a bias towards stuff at the top of the list. It gets voted on higher, and then by the time you're down at number 100, people have lost interest. So we're randomizing it to keep that nice and stable. Some of the council members are what we're calling kind of core council members. They're going to be required to vote on every single new game as they're added to the overall list, so about once a month or so, for reasons that will hopefully become apparent later. But the rest of the panel, they don't have to vote on absolutely everything. We're also moving people's games that people have voted on previously to the top, so that's a little bit easier for them to manage it month to month. Like, yeah, okay, Half-Life 3, if it's on there, that'll be near the top. I'm very interested in that. Please bring it along. Those are out there. When someone has finished casting their ballot, there's a button that they can tick, and it says, "Yep, I'm done." Checks that everything that they need to vote on, if they had to vote on everything or anything, is done. And then sometime later, Evan or one of the team members at PC Gamer will run a separate spreadsheet that goes through all of those councillors' individual ballots and reads those results, moves them into a personal history so the councillor can see their own history as well. And once it's moved into that history, it brings it into the central sheet where we do the algorithmic magic to turn it into a score.
The standard way of doing it would be like an arithmetic mean. That's like just your normal way of just add them all up and divide by how many votes you've got. But where, as sort of Ollie's explained, is we're going to have a variable number of panelists and we're going to have a variable number of titles, and not every panelist is going to be required to vote on every title, which means the arithmetic mean approach would probably skew the results a little bit. So we looked for an alternative, which is where we landed on the Bayesian averaging technique, but allows us to introduce a couple of parameters to help us to tailor how sensitive it is to different numbers of votes and the variation in the number of titles and the number of panelists over time. So we can make use of that core group within the panel to build in expertise as prior sort of expertise and knowledge into the algorithm title by title to make sure that we're going to be sensitive enough to capture those titles that perhaps have a lower profile. So you may have so that we don't swamp the rankings with very high profile games.
I guess if you start off with the traditional average that you're probably used to, where you add everything up and divide it by the number, it's then kind of just a tweak or a modification of that.
it's almost ever so slightly weighting it with some prior guess in a way. That guess is the opinion of the core panel that we're able to build in as an initial starting position for the arithmetic mean to then it would then drift as more votes are collected, and it would drift towards the total panel's opinion over time.
So if we know that the core panelists gave a game an average rating of 3 or whatever, that they only represent, say, half of the overall panel. So we can use that and say, well, okay, if absolutely everyone on the panel voted on this, then it would probably end up with about 3.
Yeah.
If half of the non-core panel have voted and they're coming in at 4 or 5, then we know that the core panel would fill in the blanks kind of for the remaining quarter and bring it down a little bit.
And we're able to tailor it title by title so that we can make sure that we're sensitive enough to the high versus low profile title.
To join the council is to carry the coin, a binding seal and badge of office granted only to these anointed few. Forged with metals from forbidden depths and shaped by forgotten craft, each coin is etched with potent sigils of play. Icons of PC gaming, the runes of ancient ludic gods that definitely exist for real. The Rook, bastion of strategy and tactical prowess. The pierced target, accuracy and precision, honed with skill. The Hammer, building, crafting, cutting stones and raising walls of simulated cities and survival fortresses. The Winged Heel, upward and forward, the joy of motion and speed, the spirit of bunny hopping. The Die, the many sides of fate and their many roles to play. The Clasped Hands, fellowship in cooperation and competition. Campfire, the sharing of stories and gazing into the glow. And at their center, the eye of the council, awestruck yet unclouded. The vision of greater truths glimpsed through play, and the wisdom to recognize them. The coins are more than a token with a delightful weight in the hand. They are a symbol of perilous knowledge, a marker of dedication, devotion, and dire consequence. None but the coin's keepers hold the power to choose the most wanted. PC Gaming Show Most Wanted will begin shortly. Stand by for trailers and announcements in our countdown of the hottest PC games on the horizon. PC Gaming Show Most Wanted will begin shortly.
Hello and welcome to the PC Gaming Show Most Wanted, powered by Intel. I'm your host, Frankie Ward, streaming to you from the Churchill War Rooms, London's underground government command bunker built back in World War II. But why the fortified venue? Well, today we are doing the world's most dangerous work, putting numbers on video games. Maybe you've noticed there are a lot of video games lately. That's why over the next hour and a half of previews and exclusive reveals, we'll be counting down the definitive ranking of unreleased PC games as selected by the Council, PC Gamer's own hand-picked panel of more than 70 industry experts. we've tasked legendary game developers, accessibility experts, game critics, and content creators with choosing which games of tomorrow deserve your attention today. We tallied up those votes to build the most wanted, the top 25 upcoming PC games chosen by the finest minds in video games. But we didn't stop there. We travelled around the world to meet with developers in their studios, gathering first-hand info from the minds behind the games we want most. We'll be airing those interviews throughout the show. And that's not all. This entire show is a showcase of games we think you'll be talking about in the near future. We'll also highlight games on the PC Gaming Show wishlist, bringing you even more reveals and new trailers. Let's kick things off with the number 25 game on the most wanted list, Still Wakes the Deep. I mean, what better setting for our first game than a collapsing oil rig off the Scottish coast haunted by an otherworldly monster? This psychological horror game features 0 weapons, but I'm sure the protagonist will be totally fine. From the Chinese Room, the studio behind Dear Esther and Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs, this is one of only 2 horror games in our countdown.
Number 25. Still Wakes the Deep.
Hey there, PC Gaming Show. My name's Jason Graves, and I'm super excited to be able to officially announce that I'm the music composer for Chinese Room's Still Wakes the Deep. The Chinese Room has a history of incredible music in their games, and I'm really excited to be a part of it.
We knew very quickly that we wanted to work with Jason because we're not only doing scary music, we're not only trying to scare the player, there's other emotions we're also trying to evoke. So we needed someone who could walk that very fine line that we're trying to achieve. Yeah.
I can be scary all day, and that's fun. But what really makes it fun, I think, is that combination of emotional and scary, because one sort of feeds the other. The setting of the rig in the middle of the ocean felt like the score needed to be sort of smaller and dialed in. We sort of split the sounds of the score in half, and one half of the score we've got live strings and live woodwinds. You can't replace live players. These players are fantastic, and it's about the emotion and the humanity. The other half of the score is a synthesizer and an actual sound sculpture that was built specifically for the score. I've got a friend who literally is a metal artist, and he ended up creating a sculpture which he affectionately named The Rig. Every surface of it can be tapped, bowed, scraped, or rubbed, and it makes all these different sounds. And they are about as non-human and non-emotionally tender or sensitive as you can get. It's the opposite end of the spectrum.
It's an emotionally complex game, and I think the music is able to reflect this with the use of these several different families of instruments.
And this game, I think, is going to be another fantastic entry in the Chinese Room catalog.
Our list of most wanted games on PC was voted for by a hand-picked panel of more than 70 industry experts we inducted into a not-so-secret society called the Council. Let's hear from some of them.
It is I, Miss Mika, the Bane of Millennia. I am a member of the Council.
My name is Marina Hallikainen. I'm from Colossal Order.
My name is Chris Barassa. I'm the creative director at Red Hook Studios. I'm here to reveal that in addition to being a little sunburnt, I'm a member of the Council.
I voted strongly for Tiny Glade and Dragon's Dogma 2.
Hey, I'm Jessica Klein from Blackbird Interactive, and I'm one of the voters who helped select the games in the PC Gaming Show Most Wanted.
Hello, my name is Estvan, and I'm a member of the Council.
And who is on this mysterious council? It could be anyone. Even Sid Meier.
I got an Illuminati-style cloak to prove it.
Number 24, Sword of the Sea. games have a special capacity for movement, for empowering us to move in ways that are graceful or athletic or physically impossible. In this game's case, you're hoverboarding across magical, otherworldly terrain. And if anyone can turn gliding on a magic sword into an experience of meditative wonder, it's the visual and musical artists behind Abzu and Journey.
Dwarf Fortress is a PC classic, famous as a factory of unforgettable stories. After releasing way back in 2006, Dwarf Fortress finally migrated to Steam 1 year ago. Soon, the masterpiece of sandbox simulation is expanding even further with a revival of its celebrated roguelike game mode. Fresh from the mountain homes, here's an exclusive first look at the return of Dwarf Fortress Adventure Mode.
Hi, this is Tarn and Zach, the creators of Dwarf Fortress. Here we're in this cool fortress with the dwarf Vukar working on an artifact, and he's made Kasha Zunal a gold ring for his family. But now I'm going to retire this fort because I want to hold this ring in my own hand. I can make a character in adventure mode, anyone I want, even a whole party. Let's take this one. We can explore sites, fight monsters, join a faction, or go off to an old fortress to steal our ring. I've arrived with my hippo friend. We're pretending we belong here, sneaking down into the darkness. And there's the workshop. Let's grab the ring. There's a huge map to explore. Adventure mode is a great way to experience the world of Dwarf Fortress.
Dwarf Fortress's Adventure Mode will venture forth in the second quarter of 2024. Next up in our countdown, we've got another great-looking independent game. Set in an eerie Polish town in the 1990s, Holston blends throwback pixel art, modern dynamic lighting, and mixed camera perspectives that caught the eye of our judges.
Number 23, Holston.
Tomuś, kochaneczku, pomóż kobiecie w potrzebie. Uważaj tam na siebie. Byłaś stamtąd, jeśli wciąż niczego nie znalazłeś. O mój Boże, światła nie działają. I co nam zamiast tym zrobić? Masz jakiś pomysł?
Na terenie należy zachować zasady bezpieczeństwa i higieny pracy.
Explore a world that evolution forgot in Under a Rock, launching in early access next summer. Up next, the clock ticks towards the dark hour once again. February brings a long overdue reimagining for the game that found the magic mix of after-school extracurriculars and interdimensional dungeon crawls. In the 22 slot, here's a message from game producer Ryoto Nitsuma about the upcoming remake of Persona 3.
Number 22, Persona 3 Reload.
PC ゲーミングショーをご覧の皆さん、こんにちは。ペルソナ3リロードプロデューサーの新妻亮太です。この度は数多くのタイトルからモーストウォンテッドゲームズに本作を選んでいただき誠にありがとうございます。皆さんの大きな期待を感じられてとても嬉しいとともに、その思いに応えられるようにしなければと開発一同身が引き締まる思いです。ペルソナシリーズのターニングポイントとなったペルソナ3から17年、今の P スタジオの手で装いを新たに生まれ変わったペルソナ3リロード。本作の登場キャラクターの一人天田健の紹介映像を先日公開しましたが、見ていただけましたでしょうか。まだ見られていない方のためにも本日はこちらを皆さんと一緒に見ていきたいと思います。ではどうぞ。
So, I decided to call this meeting to introduce him to the rest of the squad.
I'll try not to get in anyone's way.
Swallow will air this winter as a TV special.
Huh? Wow, a spin-off with Swallow as the main character. I gotta make sure I record that. Yeah, I watch it every week without fail. But this TV special is big news. Swallow doesn't usually make much of an impression, but there's a theory that he's actually stronger than Hawk. I heard that from a friend. I chose a long weapon so I could match the reach of an adult. Oh, I hit my shin again. There! Die! Now's my chance. Fly! I'm catching this!
いかがでしたか。シーズとして活躍する初等部の少年天田健、ぜひパーティーに入れて一緒に戦ってみてください。ペルソナ3リロードはこれまでにペルソナ3をプレイしたことのある方にも初めてプレイする方にも自信を持ってより鮮明に描かれる感動をお届けいたします。ペルソナ3リロードは2024年2月2日に発売予定です。皆様に楽しんでいただけるようチーム一同頑張っていきますので、ぜひご期待ください。ありがとうございました。
Unreal 2 steams into early access in 2024. We continue our march through the most wanted with a game that's a truly handcrafted work of art. A stop-motion story of friendship on an alien seabed featuring a lovingly sculpted ensemble of stranded weirdos. Let's take a look.
Number 21, Harold Halibut.
Hi. More than 10 years ago, we started building tiny sets and puppets to make our game Harold Halibut.
Now, the wait is almost over. Enjoy our new trailer.
Learning about people is a kind of adventure. A way of exploring lots of little worlds that exist within the fedora. Even if one of those little worlds looks barren and uninhabitable from the outside, usually when you make contact with it, you'll find plenty of life and laughter there.
Hello again, my alien fish bud. How are you doing? Too bad you can't tell me.
Were you? I quite wondered if maybe you'd take Harold with you.
Me? To the cave?
Yes, to investigate the source of the particles.
Humans are so unpredictable and complicated. There is almost nothing to understand.
Please witness the future of Fedora.
I thought you said it wasn't a vote. It's not. I just happen to agree with them. Is that Dr. Computer? You may commence stage D as discussed.
Something is afoot. Too many things that don't add up.
It all seems a bit fishy to me. By the way, he's saying he's a human.
You must understand.
Sands of Aura is a great entry in the blossoming ARPG genre, and you can play it today on Steam.
We have suffered. Faced the corruption, ruin, and death. But we have also experienced beauty. Kindness, union, and ingenuity. Yet there is much left to be discovered. Maybe together we'll find something here worth saving.
Now let's see some more titles from Freedom Games. Find out more about G.I. Joe Wrath of Cobra, Echoes of the Plum Grove, and Lost Isle on the PC Gaming Show Steam page. Back to you, Frankie.
2023 has been one of the best years on record for RPGs. With Baldur's Gate 3 ushering in a renaissance for classic role-playing, could there be a better time for a game set in a new universe from Ed Greenwood, creator of The Forgotten Realms? For a closer look at the upcoming RPG sandbox, we travelled to Montreal, Canada to speak with the developers of Unforetold Witchstone.
Factions, empires, gods, they rise and they fall. The actions of individuals set the course of history, and you are one of them. How will you shape fate?
I'm Malik Bukira. I'm a co-founder of Spearhead Games, and on the games I do creative direction and design. The aspects of the tabletop experience of RPGs that we really want to bring, the freedom is a big aspect, and not just the freedom, the sense of agency with that world. Freedom alone is cool, you can do different things, but you want that world to respond. And on tabletop, you have a game master, you have other players, there's always a response to the things you do. Freedom is also about creativity, feeling clever, feeling like you did things your way.
Like a tabletop RPG, players are more free to do stuff that they want to do, right? Usually in CRPGs, you'll see player being locked into certain dialogue options. We decided that no, we want a way sort of philosophically, the player can construct their own sentences.
When it comes to dialogue, we added something that's really cool and unique, which we call the influence system, and it unlocks interacting with characters, talking to them at a really cool level. So you start by determining something you want from that character, whether it's just following you around, meet you somewhere, attack someone, give you something they have in their inventory, or join you as a companion even if you want. And then you pick an approach. How do you want to go about that? You can go sweet talk them, be charming about it, you can threaten them, you can blackmail them, you can argue with them logically if you have like a smart character. If you're a cleric, maybe you can convince them it's the right religious thing to do.
We decided on turn-based combat because, first of all, it is truer to the tabletop experience, but also, like our dialogue and a lot of the choices that you make in the game, we really want players to have the time to reflect and sort of make the best tactical decisions, even in combat.
You can find Unforetold Witchstone on Steam. It's still in development, but you can wishlist it already and join the conversation about the game.
A world's worth of stories is ours to tell in Unforetold Witchstone, launching in early access on Steam on January 25th, 2024. What a moment RPGs are having, eh? You can add every game on our wishlist to your Steam wishlist by visiting the PC Gaming Show Steam page. Go to pcgamer.com/wishlist for a full list of every game in today's show. Up next on our most wanted list, you'll want to keep your blaster hand ready. In a galaxy of scoundrels, sometimes it pays to shoot first.
Number 20, Star Wars Outlaws.
Hey there, I'm Ammunition. I'm a content creator, but if you couldn't tell, I'm also a huge Star Wars nerd. I'm really excited about Star Wars Outlaws. I have very high hopes for it because the Star Wars universe obviously is very cool. They're focusing on kind of more of the original trilogy era, which is very cool, but I'm also happy that they are not doing a Jedi or Force-sensitive thing, at least that's what it appears from the trailer, but rather just like a heist video game, which should be really cool. And I love seeing developers lean into single player games because not everything needs to be multiplayer, not everything needs to be online. I love single player stories that are crafted to be just a really good experience from start to finish. So I'm really excited about it, and I hope that Star Wars Outlaws is a 10 out of 10.
My turn.
Jackpot!
I ain't digging no holes. My turn. What do you mean? Don't test me.
Hey, man!
Boosters engaged.
Finally, a challenge.
Locked and loaded.
Ready for what's about to happen?
Lighten the fuse.
This space western roguelike hits high noon when Wild Bastards arrives on Steam in 2024. Coming up on The Most Wanted, our exclusive on-location interviews with the development studios creating Path of Exile 2 and Homeworld 3. Plus, we're giving away a custom-built Intel PC. You like computers, don't you? Stay tuned for your chance to win. Let's continue our countdown, shall we? We have all heard that devils may cry. But do they kickflip? From Devolver Digital, a dreamlike game of diabolical skating.
Number 19, Skate Story. We got our first glimpse of Skate Story way back in 2020, leaving us with fevered visions of a demon with glass skin, a skateboard, and a quest to swallow the moon. Pairing a vivid afterlife realm with the acrobatic and dangerous play of skateboarding seems like the perfect thematic match. Our Most Wanted experts are desperate to land an unholy heel flip in the underworld.
Now, as we all know, pirates have two great weaknesses: scurvy and poor infrastructure. But in this up-and-coming city builder, the true pirate utopia is yours to build, ensuring the golden age of piracy lives on. Coming in 2024, here's the world premiere, Republic of Pirates, Ireland. To add some mega corporate espionage to your Steam wishlist, find DataJack 2020 on the PC Gaming Show Steam page at pcgamer.com/wishlist. The Most Wanted continues with the first strategy game selected by our panel of judges. Menace is coming to us from Hooded Horse, a specialty strategy publisher, and Overhype Studios, the folks who made the gritty tactical medieval game Battle Brothers. Now they're trading low fantasy for the far future in their first 3D game. Get ready to give those aliens hell, but not too quickly, as this is a turn-based game.
Number 18, Menace.
As we know it is dead. But with every death, new life blossoms. A life crying out into the void, fighting for its survival tooth and nail. A life that adapts, overcomes, and continues to rise above any and all. Life that learns to idolize and worship, sacrifice and maim, wage war and destruction. A life that burns so bright it may set the world ablaze. And you decide if its survival is in the cards.
Up next, one of our favorite studios, Obsidian, is expanding Pillars of Eternity into a first-person RPG called Avowed. One of the things that intrigues us about Avowed is that it specifically isn't setting out to put you in a sprawling sandbox, but something more concentrated, like the studio's recent sci-fi RPG, The Outer Worlds. And here's another curveball. The gameplay reveal trailer showed flintlock pistols. I'll say it again. We might be living in the best moment for RPGs.
Number 17, Avowed.
Avowed has me super excited because of the studio making it, Obsidian. From Fallout New Vegas to The Outer Worlds, they've shown us they know how to make an RPG that I'm gonna love. When I was watching the gameplay trailer, I was seeing all these flashy weapons and cool spells and these big dungeons, and I was thinking to myself, there's a little bit of Elder Scrolls in there, but with a Obsidian twist on it, as they always do. So I'm looking forward to probably crafting and big, beautiful storytelling, big set pieces, and a gorgeous, dangerous world to explore. And I'm going to sink my teeth into it.
The Living Lands await in Avowed, coming sometime next year. Now, one of the cool things about PC games is that it's the platform for the eccentric and the experimental. This is the platform where unconventional games about hypnospace detectives or city builders on space wells are born, where Farming Simulator has its own esports scene. Our next game is in that same legacy of weirdness, but with plenty of interesting ideas underneath an art house exterior. Indica is a meditation on religion and authority, following a nun's existential journey with the devil by her side. Let's see what kind of trouble the game's creators in Kazakhstan are getting into.
Let me tell you about Indica. Who is she, you ask? Well, she's a nun. A rather plain one, if you ask me. She prays a lot, works hard. Really hard. Goodness, she even finds some time to chat with, what do you call it? Chot. Poor girl. Of all the boring places, why do you want to go to heaven?
Indica arrives on PC in early 2024. Next, we've got a new game in a genre that continues to evolve and grow, the extraction shooter. Hawked is a colourful comic-style PvPvE game where players deploy to a stylish island called Exile to battle lizardmen and fellow mercenaries for the treasures of a lost world. Now playable in early access on Steam, here's a fresh look at Hawked.
Someone in a million, renegade look at the score. Gonna make all my billions, but there's wolves at the door. This is what legends are made. This is what we made the grade. Gotta be number one. Snakes on my treble, the damage is done. Man, it feels good to be bad. Ran all this way, so stay mad. Hey, this is my lifestyle. Yeah, I'm living in exile. Now my head's underwater, bring me back to the light. It's too late to cash out, yeah, but I'm coming in hot. Life on the line, fortune is mine. Last chance to fire my shot. Ow.
Unholy grill in the dark ages, pulling my strings. I'm the fire, I'm the spark, I'm turning into kings.
Everybody's fighting for something, cause you don't get money for nothing. The chips are down, but you're not out yet. Go teach them a lesson they'll never forget. Trust someone in a million. Renegade look at the score. It's too late to cash out, yeah, but I'm coming in hot. Life on the line, fortune is mine. Last chance to fire my shot. Last chance to fire my shot.
Hawked is playable now in early access ahead of its full launch next year on PC and console. To claim free in-game items and premium currency, visit playhawk.com/rally today. Don't miss your chance. Make sure you drop into Exile with a full loadout for the full release of Hawked coming in 2024. Next on the Most Wanted Countdown, Dragon's Dogma devotees finally get their wish with a long-awaited sequel.
Number 16, Dragon's Dogma 2. If you're hoping for a masterwork in open-world monster slaying, you can't go wrong with Capcom's RPG cult hit. Capcom has shown just how good it is at creating these mixed action and fantasy RPGs with recent entries in the Monster Hunter series. And Dragon's Dogma 2 looks to continue that trend. Fresh crop of climbable chimeras and a bounty of befriendable pawns, the endless chain stretches on in Dragon's Dogma 2.
With Dragon's Dogma 2, we're 10 games deep into the Most Wanted, and things are about to get a lot colder. In 2018, Frostpunk won wide praise as a chillingly bleak city builder. In a sequel set 30 years later, new factions arise as resurgent humanity faces its new greatest threat, itself. Let's hear from the game developer in Poland, 11-Bit Studios.
Number 15, Frostpunk 2.
We survived the storm. But it changed us. Mere survival was no longer enough. We kept expanding. More and more people. Dreaming different futures. Conflicting futures.
Hi, I'm Kuba Stokalski. And I'm Łukasz Juszczyk. We are both game directors responsible for Frostpunk 2, here at 11-Bit Studios.
What you've just seen is the first gameplay teaser of Frostpunk 2, and as you can clearly see, a lot has changed since the first game, especially the scale of our city.
But what remains the same is harsh post-apocalyptic atmosphere that hopefully will resonate with you once again.
Stay tuned for more, because the gameplay trailer for Frostpunk 2 is just around the corner.
I'm Brandon Sheffield, the creative director of Demon School, and I want to tell you about our tactical battle system. This is the planning phase where we'll plot our movements, which can be rewound at any time. Characters can only move in straight lines or side steps, like if you combined a king and a knight in chess. You attack enemies by running straight into them. You can see Faye did 1 point of damage here. Namako doesn't deal damage, but stuns and debuffs enemies, reducing their defense. Now if our other damage dealer Destin hits this demon, he'll do 2 points of damage. But we can take this further. If Newt, our healer, heals a character with full health, they get an attack buff. Destin now does 4 points of damage to this enemy. You can also do combos by pushing or pulling an enemy into another friendly character, as Namako and Faye are doing here. Once you're happy with your choices, you start the action phase and watch it go. These are the main puzzle pieces you'll be working with, but there are 15 characters, each with their own unique abilities for you to discover. You can also study new techniques, improve your relationships, fight huge bosses, and unravel the mystery of why demons are breaking through to the human world on this mysterious island. We hope you enjoy it.
The dark web. You want to stream. It will watch. It will follow. Do not leave. Stream. We are watching you. Stream. We are in your machine. Stream. We are in your skin. Stream. 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 Stream your death.
Next, with the only game on the Most Wanted list that's available now in early access, a team of retro shooter specialists are asking an important question. What if Bloodborne played like Thief if Thief had a pump shotgun? From New Blood Interactive, here's our latest look at Gloomwood, featuring its upcoming Underport area and introducing us to the terrifying Crowman.
Number 14, Gloomwood.
Gloomwood opens the gates to the Underport district in early 2024 with more early access updates to follow. Newegg is, of course, one of our favourite places to find upgrades, and later in the show we'll be sharing some recommendations in our holiday wish list. But we've also partnered with Newegg to build a... Wait, am I reading this teleprompter right? We bought an egg-shaped computer.
I'm inside. What's my target?
One new egg. Guess this is the egg. Oh.
See, you found my egg. What the hell is it?
Head to pcgamer.com/egg to watch the full video. The next game on the Most Wanted would probably rank higher if we knew a single thing about it. I mean, it's a decade after the release of Grand Theft Auto 5, and GTA Online is still clearing $500 million every year. How the hell do you follow that? And how scared should we be of the answer? Let's hear from our voting panel on how GTA 6 earned this position in our countdown.
Number 13, Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yo, what's up, guys? My name is S-Fand, and I just wanted to share with you guys how incredibly excited I am for Grand Theft Auto 6.
My personal pick for the PC gaming show Most Wanted has to be Grand Theft Auto 6, because at this point it has been about 10 years.
10 years since Grand Theft Auto 5.
Storylines are always absolutely fantastic.
It's one of the greatest video game franchises of all time.
I'm excited to dive into a new immersive world, new cities, new surroundings.
Just the amount of things that you can do in this open world sandbox, and whether you just want to screw around.
Rockstar recently acquired CFX, which is the company that own 5M, and that is where NoPixel is hosted, and NoPixel is one of my favorite GTA roleplay servers.
I hope you guys are excited as I am. I think Rockstar has a lot of hype around it right now.
And very excited to see what it holds.
I hope you guys enjoy it when the game comes out.
Top of the Crown's Tyranny in Valorite, coming to early access in December. Our next game rounds out a killer combo of high-profile fighting games that have hit PC in the last year. Ready? Fight!
Number 12, Tekken 8. It's been more than 6 years since Tekken last entered the ring on PC, and we're more than ready for a rematch. With revised fighting mechanics going all in on aggression and 32 characters to try before you settle on the guy with the leopard head, Tekken 8 weighs in right in the middle of our most wanted list.
We're moving forward in our rankings with a sequel to a Metroidvania favorite. We're talking, of course, about Hollow Knight Silksong.
Oh, hey, Frankie. I think you could use a little backup on this one.
Hi, Sean. How did you do that?
Well, you know, it's PC Gaming Show tradition to have us, like, orbiting in a space frigate or in an underground facility, so, you know, I just started calling around.
You video called a World War II bunker?
I did. My powers are great, and so is my excitement for Hollow Knight Silksong.
Number 11, Hollow Knight Silksong.
Allow me to share 3 reasons why I'm excited for Hollow Knight Silksong. First, the graphics. I adore the original Hollow Knight art style, and they're giving me more, but elevating it with more detail and layering. 2, combat in motion. The original Hollow Knight somehow was able to blend super fast, snappy movement with slow, chunky Souls-like combat. And if you look at the Silksong trailer, you're seeing all sorts of new moves that allow you to dance around your enemies and jump around the environment. It makes me really excited for the second-to-second experience. But the third and the biggest reason is exploration. Team Cherry are masters of this. There would be a ledge in the original Hollow Knight that when I finally was able to get there, there would be hours of content behind there, or new bosses, or new enemies, or entirely new zones. And it's that exact combination of a beautiful game that's fun and second-to-second gameplay that rewards my exploration. Oh, I literally can't wait for Silksong.
Thanks for your Silksong expertise, Sean. What began as a spin-off expansion to Team Cherry's beloved Metroidvania is now one of our most sought-after sequels, assuming it leaves hiding someday. Before we move forward with more previews, we want your input, and we're offering a PC-sized reward. Follow the QR code on screen and complete our PC Gaming Show viewer survey, and you could win a custom-built AC Mirage gaming PC powered by an Intel Core i9-14900K CPU. And now, a world premiere.
Two people have been reported missing. A male and a female were last seen heading to the forest 2 days ago.
A teen has not been seen since September 24th. We had a chance to speak with the mother.
It's been 3 years since she's been missing.
There are a lot of rumors about the lake. Do you personally believe that there's something sinister hiding in there? No, of course not. People love ghost stories, but in the end, they're just stories. Just stories. Just stories. Just stories. Just stories. Just stories.
We're nearing the heavy hitters, selected by our panel of industry experts as their top 10 most wanted games. But first, a fresh look at the gun fu gameplay of Spine.
Redline, as your combat AI, I have to warn you that pressing the wrong floor may lead to unexpected consequences.
Who the fuck are you?
No elevator this time?
Bringing cinematic action choreography, Spine is coming soon to PC. We're just minutes away from starting our top 10 countdown. And make sure you stick around all the way to the #1 game on our list to see some exclusive gameplay footage. But before that, here's a message from our friends at PC Game Pass. For its first post-Destiny release, Bungie's taking a walk back through time for our first entry in the most wanted top 10. Wielding 30 years of sharpened shooter design, the studio is busy carving a new extraction shooter from the series that paved the way for Halo. So far, we haven't seen much of Marathon, but its mix of rampant AIs, mysterious alien precursors, unknowable space entities, and high-saturation clone firefights are more than enough to earn slot number 10. Here's a special message from the studio.
Number 10, Marathon.
Hello, I'm Christopher Barrett, franchise game director on Marathon. We're incredibly humbled by the reception Marathon has received since its announcement earlier this year. Being voted one of the most anticipated games on PC is an honor which absolutely motivates everyone on the project. The whole team's hard at work right now, building Bungie's take on the extraction shooter genre. And the next time you hear from us, we'll have a lot more to show, including gameplay. Thank you.
I genuinely cannot wait for that one. Right, let's keep things moving with a couple more trailers.
My creation has gone rogue. And I shall rebuild it. I might die. The master architect. And I am in control.
Welcome to Crash Labs. 2. Explore a world filled with wonder, mystery, and some of these things. And then slap them. Just slap it all. except these. Best to make a home for yourself, but not just yourself. After all, if you're gonna make it on this planet, you'll need all the help you can get.
Crashlands 2 drops onto Steam in 2024. At number 9 on the Most Wanted is the product of a simple design philosophy. If you look hard enough, you can always find somewhere to put another skill tree, even if you end up making a second game in the process. Warm up that left mouse button because we're about to show you some Path of Exile 2. We travelled all the way to New Zealand to speak with the team, climbing the highest mountains to visit their studio in Auckland.
Number 9, Path of Exile 2.
It seems the old ways still hold some power.
Come at me!
Path of Exile 2 is basically our next generation action RPG. And one of the things we really wanted to make sure that we were doing with it is to make the action combat really, really excellent. We just want to make sure that anyone playing the game, you can play it like an action game, feels fun to play. We've added things like dodge rolls and like hack cancelling, things like this. And it just means that the game just feels a lot better than it previously did, as well as everything else that you'd expect from a sequel to Path of Exile.
One thing in particular that sets Path of Exile apart is obviously the depth, but in the itemization systems, crafting systems, but also the sheer number of quantity of monsters, encounters. Like, we have over a decade of content that is going to be available in Path of Exile 2 as well.
For Path of Exile 2, we really want to keep the mechanics from Path of Exile 1 that are great, but we can now have the opportunity to rebuild them or restructure them in a way that is easier to understand and much more accessible for someone coming at it for the first time, and keep that depth there, either hidden away or much more natural to understand.
I think there's a big difference between depth and complexity. Path of Exile 2 in some ways is less complicated than Path of Exile 1 because we've simplified the sort of technical complexity around doing things like the way you socket skills and things like that to make it easier to understand. But at the same time, we're making sure that we keep all the depth in terms of character options and things that you can do. So everything is still there as far as like, what can I do to build my character? It's just that it is easier to do so because you don't have to be worrying, for example, about when you're changing your items that you're going to break the way your skills are working and things like that. So I think that actually new and regular players can tolerate a lot of depth. It's the complexity that we want to try and avoid. The dodge roll actually came about because we really wanted to be able to find a way to having some skills that took longer to do than other skills. But the problem with that is that skills feel really terrible if you start them and then you can't get out of them. So we really needed a way to make that interruption be possible, and the dodge roll was a really great way to do it. We actually already had a philosophy for Path of Exile 2 boss design where we wanted to make sure that everything was dodgeable. But previously we were just doing that by running around. But I think the dodge roll has actually changed a lot of things, and especially because, now that you can expect a player to be able to do that, it means that we can have the expectation and the balance as well.
We've done fresh design on everything. We've taken some elements from PoE1 in terms of monsters, specific monsters, and brought them over and kind of, because they were fun to play. Like, why not replicate something that is still fun to play? But of course, it's full fresh coat of paint. There are definitely new systems. I'd say a lot of the monsters are faster, for example, which is where dodge roll helps to come into play. We have secondary AI systems that allow the monsters to do skills while they were performing another skill. Much like how a player can dodge roll to interrupt a skill, a monster can now do the same thing. We have a lot more monsters doing interactions with the environment. They'll interact with the world more, a lot more spawning from things, a lot more, like in one of our areas, the Isle of Kin, we have monsters riding on top of another monster, and then when they get close, they all jump off.
There's a lot of design changes that have had to gone on to take into account the way that the new skill system works. So with something like the Mercenary now, we're developing how crossbows should work. We kind of really looked at that and thought, okay, how can we make crossbows just feel completely different than bows? You know, if you look at a shooter, it's like pistols and shotguns and things like that. Like, what about those makes them different from each other? And so therefore, it makes the whole experience just feel so different than what a bow feels like now. You know, you want that like pull the trigger and it instantly fires, you know, that kind of instant response type of thing. And I think that as we approach each different character class, we're thinking like, how can we make the skills here feel so different than every other class?
For a lot of the really unique skill sets like the crossbows, which are almost basically guns, there's a lot of work that's been done in other games to make those feel great that we had the opportunity to bring into Path of Exile. And there's a lot of lessons of what works well in a shooter that can work well in an ARPG if you do the work, get the animations right, get the timing right. We've done a lot of core system changes to make it so that it feels like you've got as much control as you would in a shooter-focused game. There's a lot of what have other games done well that we can bring into Path of Exile that no ARPG is really built on, because they don't have the crazy level of skill variety that we've ended up having.
So we've got a live stream later today where we're going to be showing off 2 of our character classes. We're really deep diving into the mechanics, and we're really excited to show that. So if you're interested to know more about Path of Exile 2, then tune into that later today.
The old magics, not to be feared.
Now, if you're anything like me, you leave your Christmas shopping to the absolute last second and then speedrun the entire thing in a single afternoon of guest checkouts and regret. But what to buy the PC gamer in your life? Well, our good friends at Intel have a few ideas. Here's 5 of their favorite gaming deals this holiday season, all on offer now at Newegg. The Acer Predator Helios gaming laptop. Inside is an i7-13700HX CPU, an RTX 4070, 16GB of DDR5 memory, and 1TB of storage. We've been big fans of Acer's Helios machines for ages, and the new 16-inch Predator has fast become one of our favorite gaming laptops. It's the perfect combination of processor, graphics card, big 240Hz screen, and price. The 24-thread Intel CPU is mighty strong too, and the RTX 4070 graphics card also supports the magic of frame generation for a buttery smooth experience. This is the Gigabyte Aorus 15 gaming laptop, running on an i7-13700H CPU. RTX 4070 graphics, 16GB of DDR5 RAM, a 1TB Gen 4 SSD, and a 15.6-inch 165Hz QHD display. If your needs are a little lighter, this only slightly smaller 15-inch Aorus is a great option. You still get a 20-thread Intel CPU with the same RTX 4070 GPU inside it and a high refresh rate QHD screen. It still packs a serious punch, and if you want serious frame rates from the latest games, either of these laptops has you covered. We've also got the MSI Katana 17 gaming laptop, an i7-13620H processor, RTX 4070 GPU, 32 gigs of DDR5 memory, and a 1TB SSD. If you're looking for a lot of screen real estate, MSI's 17-inch chonker will get the job done without costing a bomb. The 13th Gen Core i7 is a 16-thread chip. The machine still sports an RTX 4070 graphics card to handle all the newest releases, and you content creators are going to love the massive 32 gig of DDR5 memory this expansive laptop has to offer. Next, MSI's Aegis gaming rig, carrying the i7-13700F CPU, an RTX 4060 Ti, another spacious 32 gigs of DDR5 with 2TB of storage. So yeah, you remember that big black obelisk from the start of 2001: A Space Odyssey, right? MSI's Aegis R PC very much has that vibe, but also throws in a little RGB gaming flair. Inside this monolith, you'll find a beefy 24-thread Intel CPU and way more memory and storage than you'd usually find in a PC at this price. Finally, we have the 12th Gen Core and Arc bundle, an i7-12700K CPU and the Arc A770 with a $50 discount. But there ain't much that can top the feeling of building a gaming machine with your own 2 hands. And these Intel Silicon bundles will allow you to do that at a bargain price. For us, pairing a 12th Gen i7 with an ASRock Arc 770 is a real smart money play, because these older CPUs share a ton of DNA with the latest 14th Gen chips. And this graphics card has only got faster since launch. damn, those are some powerful computers. Let's hope Santa thinks we'd all be nice this year, or at least he hasn't heard any of the things you've said in solo queue voice chat. Okay, our next game is a fun one. A blisteringly fast racer and a 1999 throwback you didn't know you needed. Racing into early access soon, this is Death Grip. Now that's what I legally can't call pod racing. The whole reason we're here today is because yes, there are an incredible amount of video games, and we want to help you decide which ones are the most deserving of attention. But if you're watching and wondering, hey, why isn't The Elder Scrolls 6 one of the most wanted games? Well, let me explain. Our voting process for the most wanted list prioritizes games that are imminent and that we know lots of information about. The more confident we are in a game's release date, the more rewarded it is by our voting system. But still, there's a long list of high-profile games that have been in dark mode for years and years. While theoretically enormous, they're frustratingly absent from the public eye. So, just to give them at least a moment of acknowledgement, I'm going to see how many of these I can rattle through. Ready? The Elder Scrolls 6, Bioshock 4, which was announced 4 years ago, the eventual Cyberpunk 2077 sequel, The Witcher remake, Project 007 from the team that made Hitman that's probably going to be incredible, Dragon Age Dreadwolf. Come on, BioWare, let's see it. Death Stranding 2, Star Wars Eclipse, yes. The Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell remake. Oh, and that untitled Fallout-like RPG from New Blood Interactive. Arma 4, that League of Legends fighting game that looks really good. A Wonder Woman game. The new Indiana Jones game from the folks that made Wolfenstein. Good and Evil 2, which has been in development for something like 15 years. The reboot of the Skate series and Crisis 4. Crisis 4. Oh. While I catch my breath, let's see a couple of games that actually have gameplay footage.
Our world is in chaos. The gods and their armies of the dead seek to rule over everything we call home. I'll be damned if I let that happen. My name is Nor Vanek. Survivor. Soldier. God killer.
Time for a word from our good friends at Mad Mushroom.
Mad Mushroom is a publishing company that is going to be a little different from other publishing companies.
Mad Mushroom gives us the opportunity to enter the games industry while at the same time elevating and amplifying the message of hundreds of indie developers.
You are literally working hand in hand with influencers to figure out how to make your game as enjoyable as possible, not just to play, but also from a content viewing perspective.
If you're a developer and you're interested in us publishing your game, you can go to madmushroom.gg. Check it out. We're very passionate and we're very excited about what we're doing here.
In a city that never sleeps, innovators like Kieran Short and the All Street New York City Collective remind us that with the right tools, like the Alienware laptop, the boundaries of art and technology can be pushed beyond our imagination. That's where Alienware's top-of-the-line computers come in. Introducing our real-life XP boost, the Alienware Power Boost Benefit. Scan our QR code or visit the site below to see how Alienware is undeniably stepping up the game.
In Islands of Insight, you awaken on a floating island as a seeker. Your goal is to explore a serene fantasy realm of ancient wonders and natural beauty, solve its mysterious puzzles, and unveil the secrets of the islands. We designed the world to be brimming with thousands of handcrafted puzzles, each of them carefully placed throughout the landscape. You might start off solving logic puzzles and then decide to search for hidden objects or go find some perspective or memory puzzles to take on. Designed by some of the best minds in puzzle design, our puzzles vary in difficulty and are thoughtfully crafted to be relaxing, challenging, and satisfying to solve for newcomers and seasoned puzzle fans. There is no linear path in Islands of Insight. You choose where to go, which puzzles to solve, and in what order, all at your own pace. You can solve puzzle quests to unlock new areas in the campaign, or explore the main island, an expansive open world where most of the puzzles and secrets are found. Wander around the sublime landscapes on foot, or glide above them. Our shared world allows for seamless interactions and collaboration between players. You can interact with others for a bit of guidance, or you can play entirely on your own. This is your adventure. In today's fast-paced world, we hope Islands of Insight delivers a sublime escape for players looking to unwind. If you want to discover more, play our demo today on our Steam page.
In 1999, Homeworld brought RTS space combat fully into 3 dimensions. Now, 20 years after Homeworld 2, it's a very different world for real-time strategy, and an excellent time for a comeback. From Blackbird Interactive, this is Homeworld 3.
Number 8, Homeworld 3.
First batch of bombers rolling off the line. Looking good.
Homeworld 3 is a 3D strategy game set in space. It's incredibly cinematically compelling.
When we were first starting up on Homeworld 3, we were thinking, what are some of the coolest spectacles you can think of in the universe that you would want to play in or around?
In essence, Homeworld 3 was really our original dream of Homeworld 2. The problem was, in the late 90s, early 2000s, the vision for Homeworld 3 was utterly impossible to make.
Massive coronal sun ejections, massive battles in asteroid fields.
Massive environments with these giant megaliths, like gigantic Death Star-sized things that would create an interesting landscape for the player to move their units through. We had to wait 20 years before we could do that. So anyone who's interested in strategy or strategy-like games, we want to immerse basically anyone who loves science fiction.
For us, Homeworld 3 is a love letter to the fans of the franchise that have been with us over the last 20, 22 years. And with Homeworld 3, we want to just continue that amazing feeling that you got from playing Homeworld 1 back in the day and give that to you again. you can play Homeworld 3 at the pace that you want to play. Tactical pause are going to allow you to actually just pause the game 100%. We have a classic controls, which you'll know and love from Homeworld 2, and then we have our modern control scheme. And that one is built around FPS controls that you know and love from the games that you've played before. So MOBA players, RTS players from other games will be able to quickly understand, okay, if I want to go somewhere, I just click on this element here. Cinematic combat is such a huge pillar to the franchise. We want you to be able to get in there, find the coolest camera angle, and enjoy the spectacle. For anybody who's never played a Homeworld game, they'll be able to get right into the action.
We wanted choke points. We wanted interesting strategic decision-making for the player.
When engaging in combat, terrain will actually matter. We have tunnels where you can actually take your fighters and frigates through those things, and that will actually remove you from the enemy sensors, so you can ambush them. You can actually use a larger ship to take fire for another ship.
So in Homeworld 3, we focused a lot on what wasn't already available for us within Unreal. We wanted to figure out the more distinct views that the game would have that separate Homeworld from any other game, which is mostly the skybox and the lighting to give that feel of being in space. When you go into a nebula, the ship understands how much coverage it has from that, which will affect the concept of fog of war in the game. We knew that we wanted persistent damage on the ships, and so then we focused on what that system would be like.
You'll see the history of your battles as you go through the whole campaign. Please wishlist and pre-order the game. We're super excited to have you.
A myth, a tale of a long-forgotten saint. For there was once an empty potential about to be birthed into existence. But the potential was greeted by short-sightedness. Although nigh honestly covetous, nor completely barren, it swallowed up everything that was given. The saint, reincarnate as fit and proper, but never aware, dictated from beyond by blessed ignorance and idle hands. Uji's solidarity, like a utopian hummus. Blessed be she. Life is not given, but received, and her worth lies therein. Blessed is she. Blessed is she.
Perhaps you've heard of an obscure little indie game called Stardew Valley? Or maybe the hundreds of cozy life sims it inspired. Whilst its imitators are busy trying to rebottle the farm life lightning, Stardew's solo dev is leaving the barnyard behind. From two editors at PC Gamer, Lauren Morton and Molly Taylor, let's hear more about this highly anticipated follow-up.
Number 7, Haunted Chocolatier.
Molly, you and I end up talking about cozy games on the PC Gamer Chatlog podcast quite a bit. Which is why it's so exciting that its creator, Eric Baroni, is currently working on his next game, Haunted Chocolatier, where instead of us being on a farm, we're like running a chocolate shop instead, which sounds super exciting. We haven't seen a whole lot about Haunted Chocolatier yet. We've seen a brief trailer and we've seen some screenshots. We've seen boss battles potentially. We've seen a bit of the new cozy town. We've seen some expanded combat over the Stardew Valley formula. So we're definitely anticipating hearing more about it as it continues development. So I'm really excited to see how Baroni is going to take that formula and evolve on it. And I have a pretty good feeling that Haunted Chocolatier is going to be setting the standards for cozy games for years to come.
A
Assistance required on the corner of 5th and 24th Street. A gas station has exploded and we require immediate medical attention.
Received loud and clear. We're on our way. ETA approximately 5 minutes.
The crusade is about to overwhelm us. The crusade is on the rise. I have to warn everybody. We must keep them from reaching the Enclave at all costs. Lorelei, it's been an honor fighting by your side.
Likewise, my friend. But we'll make it out of here. That's a promise. Fate brought us here. We did not come by choice. The silence that devoured my home. Please, guiding star, send me a sign.
Queen Lorelei of Erengard, they call me Myrna. The bird will guide you to my side when the time comes.
The crusade brings you a better future. Soon, there shall only be silence.
The void will devour everything unless we stop the crusade.
Firstborn, starborn, even constructs. Deep down, we are all as one.
A vibrant blend of 4X management and card-based RTS battles, Songs of Silence releases in spring 2024. Next up on the Most Wanted Highway, a game that knows nothing beats a road trip. Just you, your car, the open road, and the interdimensional horrors bubbling forth from reality's cosmic wounds.
Number 6, Pacific Drive.
The Olympic Peninsula, the crown jewel of the Pacific Northwest. Its unmatched views and quiet solitude offer everything you need in the most beautiful place on Earth.
There is no cause for alarm. Take shelter in the closest pocket of stability in your area, and please refrain from thoughts or memories of home.
The chain of events were in plain sight. Strange accidents leading to the government's claim of eminent domain and subsequent seizure of the peninsula. The evacuation of 100,000 people and the attempt and abject failure at containing the rumors that spread like wildfire.
10. It was hours before Arda came to extract us.
9. Some zone secrets are best left secret.
8.
7. I don't even look up at the sky anymore.
6.
Was she a myth, martyr, or monster?
5.
Nothing had more potential than limb technology.
4.
And look what it did to the Olympic Peninsula.
3, 2, 1.
I have the distinct honor to introduce to you the American people. A new scientific frontier where the raw power, the potential is limitless. On this day, we welcome
I just love that we're seeing smaller studios take a swing at Souls-like gameplay. Mortal Crux is coming soon to early access. Coming up, we're nearly at the top of our list. It's time for a second helping of Helldivers as the most wanted countdown continues.
Number 5, Helldivers 2. If there's one thing we value, it's interstellar combat with giant acid-belching insects, or as the fine soldiers of Super Earth call it, democracy. Now shooting in third person, the Helldivers redeploy for co-op, and our panel of experts can't wait to enlist.
Helldivers 2 arrives on PC for some co-op Starship trooping on February 8, 2024. Now, we turn to the unholy rebirth of a 2009 strategy cult classic. When Hell's throne sits empty, its greatest devils march to war in this stylishly sinister game of ungodly grand strategy. Here's the latest trailer for Solium Infernum.
Set in the bureaucratic nightmare of hell, Solium Infernum is a political strategy game like no other. The Prince of Darkness has vanished, and to ascend to the Dark Throne as ruler of hell, you must prove to the infernal conclave that you are the most powerful archfiend of all. Equip powerful relics and cast rituals that can turn the tide of battle. Command legions, summon colossal titans, bribe minions, and attempt to outbid your fellow archfiends in the bazaar, Hell's blind auction house. You'd best learn the rules of Hell fast, and how to exploit them, archfiend. For it is malice and malevolence that win favor in Hell. Insult and extort your enemies, goading them into open warfare. Or worse, humiliation. Scheme in your sleep with asynchronous multiplayer, investing just a moment each day in games that can last for weeks. There are no loyalties here in the Abyss, and betrayal is the name of the game. Solium Infernum isn't called a friendship destruction simulator for nothing. Better to rule in hell than serve in heaven.
History is defined by moments when its greatest himbos collide. In January, the world will stand witness as Yakuza's very best boys unite for an ocean-spanning RPG adventure, and probably like some mahjong? Like a Dragon earned high marks from our voting crew. Let's see what Sega's got cooking.
Number 4, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth.
Lately, our old friend, the Seiryu clan's been acting mighty suspicious.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Kasuga-san.
I'm sending you to Hawaii. There's someone there who wants to meet you. It's your mother, Akane-san.
What the hell's going on?
Freeze.
Kiryu-san?
High time you met the head of the Barracudas. Name's Dwight.
Barracudas are after me. Akane-san, they're after her too, you know.
You seen this?
This is someone else. Ganja.
You trying to tell me there are Yakuza in Hawaii?
The head of Kazuma Kiryu. What better trophy than the head of a dragon?
I really need your help, like, right now. I'd take a bullet for a bud any day.
Take cover!
You can always turn a new leaf, but you can't turn back the clock. All you get is the precious time you're given. You ready for this, Kasuga?
Let's do this.
You haven't missed your chance at our gaming PC giveaway. Follow the QR code on screen now and complete our viewership survey. Once you're done, you'll be in the running to win a custom AC Mirage PC created by the talented guys at Blue Horse Studios and boasting a Core i9-14900K CPU from the show's presenting sponsor, Intel. Hell yeah, free computers. We're just a few games away from the #1 game in our countdown and from showing you some exclusive gameplay footage I think you're going to like. But first, here's another game from our wishlist, Crown Wars: The Black Prince.
War, your great passion. How appropriate, for it makes you blind to our ascension. We were here well before your kings, before your religions. We will be here after your empires. We are domination. We are power beyond imagination. We are blood, death, multitude. We are the terror that whispers in the dark. We are the chaos in all things and the order within chaos.
You may be many things, but we have hope.
Manage your forces for medieval tactics in Crown Wars: The Black Prince, coming March 2024. Sometimes PC gaming gives us games that empower us to make games. Our next studio visit is with the group behind Everywhere, an ambitious creation platform currently in development. Let's hear a little more about the big vision behind Everywhere.
Hey, my name's Adam Whiting, Assistant Game Director here at Build Rocket Boy, and I'm working on Everywhere. So it's a world of creativity and exploration and discovery underpinned by really high quality systems that hopefully inspire the next generation of games creators and world builders.
Hi, my name's Leslie Benzies. I am the game director of Everywhere and Mind's Eye, founder of Build a Rocket Boy. Everywhere is a place where players can tell their stories, where they can build their own world. There's shooting elements, there's driving elements, there's puzzles. Players can build UGC, take part in many different experiences, and they also play a AAA game called Mind's Eye. Tools, which we call Arcadia, they're a part of Everywhere, so you don't have to jump to a separate executable to trigger them. We built the platform with UGC in mind, so it's inherent to the games.
Arcadia, I think, is a really wonderful suite of creation tools that we're using internally to build content within the platform. I think that's really important. If you're using one set of tools and then giving a lesser subset of that to players, they immediately realise the limitations of the toolset they've been given, whereas we want everything that players play within Everywhere to serve as inspiration because they have the same tools that we use to build that experience.
So you could look at Utopia as the hub where you socialise. It's where you come into the games, meet up with your friends before you decide to go play the entertainment that you and your posse will like to.
It's a place that you arrive in within Everywhere, and then you can use it as like a launch pad, jump into any other type of experience. Go and explore the open world of the biomes surrounding Utopia City. You can jump into the district buildings that curate specific types of content, or you can jump into anything you want to through our portals or through invites from other players. But essentially that's the kind of foundation that you use to kind of experience all these other interesting kind of facets and gameplay experiences.
The progression system of the game, the actual gameplay of Everywhere sits within the biomes, and then you've got these abstracted other areas which we call arcs, and they're pieces of UGC content that we build and our players will build, and they're held separately from the main world.
They're connected by virtue of the fact they're all part of this one ever-evolving, ever-changing world called Everywhere, and they're all connected, so using the same character and the same data to kind of traverse these different experiences, but they're not causally related or narratively related. You know, we intentionally take a very light touch with the narrative within the game because we want this to be a world where players have agency and they have freedom to infer their own stories and their own world building within this space. And we don't really know what they're going to do with it. And we really want to earnestly kind of move forward with them and help them build this world with us. If you were kind of able to take part in like a shared reality with other players of all different types, who had all different types of backgrounds and experiences and wants and needs, but they're all being fulfilled by the creative potential of one particular platform, I think that'd be a really exciting place to be.
The purpose of our alpha test, it's more of an infrastructure test.
The first people moving into this world are going to be able to check out our systems, allow us to do a lot of kind of testing of the back ends, all that kind of stuff. But they're also going to be kind of the intrepid explorers, the first into this brand new horizon, the first people to experience the tools and be able to build some really cool content with them. We're keen for everybody to get involved. You know, like I said, this is a game that's been built from the very beginning with people like you sat at home watching this video right now in mind. So I implore you, please come to everywhere.game, sign up for the alpha.
And we're very excited to hear player feedback.
Time for a new world. Let's build it together.
We're closing in on number 1, but first, the follow-up to a roguelike with fittingly mythical acclaim.
Number 3, Hades 2. After 3 years and who knows how many deaths, we still can't get enough Hades. And apparently neither can its developers. In Supergiant's first sequel, Hades is imprisoned and the Titan of Time is loose. You're the witchcraft-wielding princess of the underworld striking out against the forces of Kronos. It's really something to imagine how Hades 2 could build on the slowly unfolding storytelling and elegant design of the first game.
You know, we don't think of the PC as the birthplace of platformers, but we continue to see outstanding 2D and 3D platformers release each year. Nice. Okay, Elden Ringers. However many boss kills you've got under your belt, the greatest test for every Tarnished is, well, it's Millennia. The second greatest test is patience. And by God, FromSoft, haven't we been tested enough? Torrent needs his exercise. As we scratch at the locked door of the lands between for details, let's hear from some of our voters about what they're expecting from this expansion.
Number 2, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree.
I'm extremely excited about the Elden Ring DLC, Shadow of the Erd Tree. Personally, I'm hoping that they will introduce a new vast area to explore that gives you that same magical feeling as exploring Limgrave for the first time, Just something new and exciting around every corner, pretty much. In terms of boss fights, I'm hoping there will be bosses that are even harder than the base game. If we go back to previous From Software games, typically we've seen that the best and the hardest bosses are in the DLCs. Some examples would be Medir, Gale, Orphan of Cos, Sister Fried, Manus, I would definitely say. It would be thrilling to see if they could come up with a boss that's even more difficult than Melania. Story-wise, I think we'll get a greater understanding into Melania's brother Mikola, which has been very much hinted and talked about in the main game. All in all, they can't release this DLC soon enough.
One final RPG featured in our show today is the return of a true cult classic. We saw this studio right at the beginning of the show with horror game Still Wakes the Deep, but they're also working on the second coming of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Tell me, Willem, what rumors have you heard about me?
That you were there in Cairo. They called you the Slayer.
And what will I be to you, Willem? And to this lonely, forgotten warehouse?
Exactly what he said you'd be. I guess that makes it easier.
Makes what easier?
What happens next?
Before we find out which game tops our most wanted list, let's recap the top 25 so far. Still Wakes the Deep, Sword of the Sea, Holston, Persona 3 Reload, Harold Halibut, Star Wars Outlaws, Skate Story, Menace, Avowed, Dragon's Dogma 2, Frostpunk 2, Gloomwood, Grand Theft Auto 6, Tekken 8, Hollow Knight Silk Song, Marathon, Path of Exile 2, Homeworld 3, Haunted Chocolatier, Pacific Drive, Helldivers 2, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Hades 2, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree.
We've ranked 24 of our 25 most wanted games, each capturing a different piece of our fascinations. We've had meditative sword surfing, demonic skateboarding, eldritch road tripping, whether it's the three-dimensional space strategy of Homeworld 3 or the ever-expanding universe of build crafting and Path of Exile 2, the most wanted represents the games we can't help but hunger for. But for our panel of experts, one game more than any other had a clear hold on our hopes. This game received the highest voting total from our panel of critics, developers, and content creators. It's the long-awaited return of a series that found wonder in jammed firearms and crackling Geiger counters, striking a balance between lethal tension and dystopic beauty that's never quite been matched. But also, this game is a testament to developer fortitude. This is a project that's weathered wartime, including office relocations and most recently, a severe studio fire. Here is our most wanted game.
Number 1, Stalker 2, Heart of Cornoble.
Hello everyone, I'm Yevgen, the CEO of GC Game World and the game director of Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. Recording this video feels almost surreal as I accept the award for the most anticipated PC game. Being here proves that several elements much larger than myself aligned for this moment to happen. Firstly, it's about you, our fans. Many years ago, when the journey we had planned concluded, you refused to leave the zone. You enriched it with stories, love, and life, ensuring that legacy continues through the years. You've shown us that there are still goals to achieve and stories to tell. Your passion has guided us throughout this journey, and I can never express enough gratitude for that. I consider this award a symbol of your unbreakable trust. Secondly, it's about the journey itself. This path was extraordinary, marked by dedication, passion, and commitment from everyone involved to deliver an unforgettable experience. I feel blessed to lead a team like this, and I dedicate this award to those talented individuals. Stalker 2 stands as the biggest and most complex game in our lives. It was ambitious from the beginning, but evolved into an ultimate challenge. It holds extreme significance and a deeply personal connection for us, crafted amidst the most stressful conditions imaginable, including the pandemic, war, relocation, cyber attacks, life threats, and more. Additionally, it's about the legacy. Stalker began as a PC franchise and has always been loyal to the PC community. Receiving this award at the PC Gaming Show feels like a confirmation that we will remain true to our vision and roots. This holds extra significance for me. I understand that discussing somber topics during a gaming show might not be ideal, but I'll take this opportunity to address the situation in my homeland. The war still goes on in Ukraine. Those currently fighting on the front lines, including GC employees, are real heroes. Not all of them were trained for this, they simply couldn't turn away. Stalker 2 was important for us even before the war, but now it stands as a national product, aiming to convey Ukraine's unbreakable spirit to the world. Today, we celebrate our victory here, while simultaneously striving for our homeland's ultimate triumph in the future. I am overwhelmed with the joy to recognize that Stalker 2 entered the final phase of development. Fellow Stalkers will soon reunite in the zone once again. Thank you all for this award. I assure you it holds far more meaning than I can express in a foreign language. Now I want to show you the story trailer we have prepared for this occasion. Please enjoy.
You asked me about my good luck charm. Remember? It's an empty shell.
Decided to play soldier? With me? Dimitri and I were just discussing a certain puzzle we found in the zone. But we can't quite seem to get all the pieces to fit. Maybe you can figure it out.
It reminded me that we used to be puppets.
I took just one awkward step, and my whole world plunged into darkness. I'm sorry, Strider.
That was the day the psi fields were turned off. Suddenly, the voice of Monolith was gone. I felt as if I was awakening from a years-long coma. And through the scope, I saw the body of an unknown soldier fall.
We had a simple choice. Sit back and just wait for another super emission, or take a chance and get control of the anomalous energy.
Only I didn't choose that path. Unlike you.
Thank you for joining us in counting down the PC gaming show Most Wanted. And thanks as well to our sponsors at Intel for helping us put on this broadcast. And remember, all the games featured in today's show can be found on the PC Gaming Show Steam page at pcgamer.com/wishlist. The Most Wanted list will continue in 2024. The overflowing bounty of PC gaming does not quit, and neither will our judges. But before then, we'll see you back here in June 2024 when the PC Gaming Show returns. If I can find my way out of this bunker. They've locked me in and I think they're about to turn the lights out. Thank you again for watching.